Good morning. Today I'm going to say another shmuz. This shmuz is on the Parshas v'Yikra. It's on in Perek Dalet, Pasuk Chaf Beis. A little background. This Parsha here is talking about different types of chatos that we bring, and the pasuk starts off with saying, "Asher nasi yachada." If the nasi sins, asak achas b'kol mitzvahs Hashem alokav asher. He does an avera that is generally b'mezid a of karis. He does a b'shogeg. He has to bring a chatas, and the Torah goes through. He goes through the chatas that he brings. So Rashi puts Gemara in Horios, which observes that the lashon here is a little weird because for example, when it talks about the Kohen Mashiach, the Kohen Gadol, it says, "V'lakach haKohen HaMashiach mitam." Im haKohen HaMashiach yachata, if the Kohen Mashiach sins, etc. Or if it says, when it talks about the Sanhedrin, it says, "V'im kol adas Yisrael yishku," if all of the Jewish people sin, the Sanhedrin paskins wrong, and all the Jewish people do an avera that is, or most of the Jewish people do an avera that is a chi of karis generally, if done b'mezid. But here it starts off with Asher Nasi Yachata. Like Asher generally means that the Nasi sins. It's a weird way to begin the parsha here about a Nasi. So Rashi quotes the Gemara, and he says that it uses the word Asher as a lashon Ashrei. The lashon of the word Ashrei, which means praiseworthy. Ashrei Hador, says Rashi. He's quoting the Gemara. Praiseworthy is a generation. Nasi shalo nosein leiv, that the nasi has in his heart lahavi kapara al shkegaso, to do a kapara on his shogeg avera. Kal v'chomer shemescharit al zindodosav, for sure he's going to do tshuva on something he does b'mezid. If he does kapara, if he does this korban. On something he does b'shogig, for sure we know he's going to do something, do tshuva on something b'mezid, and praiseworthy is that generation. So let's take a look at the Gemara in Horios. The Gemara in Horios is on Daf Yud Amud Beis, the second line down. Tana Rabbanan, Asher Nasi Yachata. This is the pasuk that we just quoted. Amar Yochanan ben Zakkai. Yochanan ben Zakkai says, Ashrei Hador. Praiseworthy is a generation shehanasi shalom mevi korban al shigadaso. Praiseworthy is a generation where when its nasi brings a korban for his shogeg. Im nasi shalom mevi korban sarich atalomar mahu hedyun. So Rashi explains that the Gemara here saying it chavachomer. Rashi in the Gemara says that the Gemara is saying chavachomer. If the nasi is going to bring korban on his shogeg, for sure the tzibor, the regular people, are going to bring a korban for their shogeg. And sarachat alomer maho zedono. And this also Rashi says it's saying a kavachomer. And kavachomer, if the nasi is going to bring a korban for his shogeg, for sure he's going to do tshuva for his mezid. So I have two kashas on this. Two very related kashas. I have one answer for it on this Gemara and on this Rashi in the Chumash. Kasha number one. Let's say somebody says praiseworthy is a generation where the Gadol Hador says Vidu on Yom Kippur. Now it's a mitzvah to say Vidu on Yom Kippur, and we all do it, and it's very important. But why is the generation where the Gadol Hador says Vidu on Yom Kippur any more praiseworthy than the other generation? There's a mitzvah to say Vidu on Yom Kippur. It's not like he came up with this on his own and he's like, I'm going to say Vidu. I just need to show him say Vidu. This is a mitzvah that all of Klal Yisrael does. So the same thing over here. Why is this necessarily any more praiseworthy than any other generation? Because the nasi brings a korban that the Torah says straight out you have to bring. The Torah here has a whole parsha on the korban that nasi has to bring if he does an avera that's generally chi of karis, does a b'shogeg. So why is it so praiseworthy that he brings this korban? My other kasha is, what's the kal v'chomer? It says kal v'chomer, if he does something b'mezid, he's going to do tshuva. Who says? A lot of times you have a person that does something b'mezid, and they do something b'shogeg, a lot of times it's more likely you're going to do tshuva on something you do b'shogeg than the thing that they do b'mezid, because the thing they do b'mezid, by definition, it's on purpose. Maybe they can't control themselves, or whatever the case, or they just don't care about it. So who says they're going to do tshuva on that? Maybe it's more likely they're going to do tshuva on the aver that they do care about more, the one they're doing b'shogeg. By definition, they're doing that by accident. So it's more likely that they don't want to do. So it's more likely they're going to do tshuva, I'd say, on the one that on the aver that they're doing b'shogeg than the one doing b'mezid. And I thought of, I guess, kind of a mashal. Imagine if somebody is Shomer Shabbos and he just can't. This is one specific thing he just can't do. He knows it's wrong, but he can't do. He has to cook. He has to cook on Shabbos. He has to make hard-boiled eggs. He has to boil his eggs every morning for Shabbos. And he just can't. Everything else he does. Everything else he's very, very makbid on. He's Shomer Shabbos and he's regular from person, but he just can't control himself. He has to boil his eggs every Shabbos morning. And it's an avera. It's curry. It's been mazed, but he can't control himself. One day he'll do tshuva, but one day he'll stop and work on it. But right now he can't control himself. So I think that come Yom Kippur, yes, he'll feel bad about the eggs, but if somebody tells him, hey, you did every Shabbos, you didn't know the halacha, you've been doing something that is usher to do on Shabbos, he'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm Shomer Shabbos, I shouldn't be doing that, and he'll feel bad about it. It could be that he'll want to do tshuva on the mazid, but who says? Maybe the mazid he'll be like, it's in the back of his mind, one day I'll work on it. Who says it's a kal v'chomer? Just because he's going to do tshuva on the shogeg, he's certainly going to do tshuva on the mazid. So I think the teretz is that this Gemara that Rashi is quoting is teaching us that there actually is a certain tzidkus, a special tzidkus, even though the Torah says you have to do it, even though everyone does it, even though the straight out in the Torah there's a whole parsha about it. There's a certain tzidkus that the Kohen Gadol is doing this, is bringing this korban for a shogeg. And because of that tzidkus, because the Kohen Gadol has this certain tzidkus to him, he's going to end up feeling bad. It's about averis that has been mazed, and in fact, it's a kal v'chomer. He's going to be bringing this korban or something did by accident, and he's going to think, oh my gosh, I do this thing b'mezid all the time, and it actually he's a tzaddik, so he's going to be thinking the fact that he's bringing this korban shows he's a tzaddik, and it shows he cares about being mekayim the Torah, and it's going to infuse in him this certain feeling that of guilt that he does this. I'm bringing this whole korban. I'm doing this whole procedure for something I did b'shogeg. Now I feel terrible about the things I do b'mezid. So I think we see from here that there's a concept that when we go through emotions, for example, of Vidoy on Yom Kippur, about the little things, that shows there is a certain element of tzidkus to us, that shows that we care. And that infuses in us a guilt for the things we do b'mezid, and even a kal v'chomer, that it makes us feel like I feel bad about this little shogeg that I did, or this little thing I did, kal v'chomer, I feel bad about all the things I did on purpose throughout the year. A lot of times during a Seres Mei Tshuva specifically, you see people going around doing tshuva for things that seem so insignificant. For example, you'll see someone go to another person and say, hey, I think I borrowed a quarter, I'm not sure, let me pay you a quarter just in case. Meanwhile, you're thinking, this guy does the worst of averis b'mezid. What's he care about this quarter? Go do tshuva for the real things. So, and when we go through all the al-chitz on Yom Kippur, you see all these, you read the art scroll Mussar, and the bottom goes through all these little things that you did, like you didn't, you gave tzedakah, but you didn't do it wholeheartedly, you had bad thoughts. Meanwhile, you're you could be Machal Shabbos, and you're sitting there thinking like, okay, I'm doing true for every little thing, and you kind of pass over them, and you go to the big things. I think that this Gemara is teaching us that when you are being Mekayim the Torah, when you care, when you show that you care about the little things, when you show that you care about even just any little thing that you did wrong, there is a very special tzidkas to that. Even if it's a straight out in the Torah that you have to do it, even if everyone's doing it, everyone does video on Yom Kippur. The fact that you're doing it, it shows that there's a certain element of tzidkas to you, and a very special kind of tzidkas to you. And the fact that you're going to do tshuva on these little everyday things that you may do, it's gonna end up they are also going to do tshuva on the things that you do, the big things, the things that you do b'mezid. And it's even a kal v'chomer. If you're doing tshuva on the things, on the little things, you're going to kal v'chomer do tshuva on the big things and the things that you do b'mezid. And it just teaches us, I think this whole shmuz is teaching us that we tend to belittle ourselves, we tend to belittle other people. When they do tshuva, when they work on little things, and shmuz teaches us that actually there's a very special tzidkas to that, and there's a Jewish person who cares so much about the little things, and even if it's just says straight out in the Torah, you're just following something that says straight out in the Torah, you're just doing video on Yom Kippur like everyone else is doing video on Yom Kippur. It shows something special about you. It shows that you are going to eventually do tshuva on the big things as well.